Toronto's Mayor John Tory handed in his resignation yesterday after admitting to an extramarital relationship with a member of his staff last week. And that sparked a lot of conversations in this country about the rules and the ethics of workplace relationships and where the line is when it comes to challenging topics, including misconduct. So for a closer look at a broader conversation, we are joined this morning by employment and human rights lawyer Nicole Symes. Welcome to your morning.
Good morning.
So first of all, what are the laws surrounding misconduct in the workplace?
So sexual misconduct in the workplace can be a broad term. It could cover sexual harassment, which is behavior that's vexatious, that the person who's doing it is doing so on the basis of sex, sexual orientation, gender, and they know or should know that the behavior is unwelcome. That comes out of the laws, the Occupational Health and Safety Act, as well as the Human Rights Code. We also have laws against sexual solicitation. So that's where someone in a position of power to give a benefit or take something away is making a sexual advance in the workplace, and they should know, again, or they do know that that solicitation is unwelcome.
So if two people don't disclose their relationship and then it becomes discovered, what is the responsibility then of the workplace?
So there isn't an absolute ban against relationships in the workplace in our laws in Ontario, but the key part in the legislation is the behavior known to be welcome or unwelcome? And that's where we get, into, was there a position of power? Was it someone in management or a supervisory role? As far as the employer's responsibility, if they know that this is happening, they have to take steps if they believe that there could have been sexual harassment or sexual solicitation.
So at that point, it's an investigation?
Absolutely. So they might do an internal investigation. Normally these days, they're going external.
Let's dig into this role of power dynamics in an office relationship and misconduct. We hear abuse of power come up a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, our law itself, especially when we talk about sexual solicitation, talks specifically about power. The person in the position of power to give or deny a benefit needs to act extremely carefully. And in the cases that we're seeing from the Human Rights Tribunal, some of the biggest cases are saying a person who is a subordinate where the management side has the ability to change pay, change job duties, there's just no way to know if that consent is real.
So where people get confused, I think, is it a crime? Is it a criminal act?
Right. So there's workplace law, and then there's our criminal law. It could be both, or it could just be a workplace issue. It depends on the severity and what's happened in the situation.
And does that come forward from either one of the parties, or could that come from a workplace?
So as far as the workplace obligation, they have the duty to investigate if they learn of it, even if the individual didn't come forward themselves. So it could be another witness, or it could be someone who's heard that it's happening.
If someone is in a position of power in a relationship with someone they oversee, they claim that it's consensual. Could it still be a violation of the human rights or the labor code?
It absolutely could be. One of the biggest decisions we have from the tribunal is very clear that positions of power can create a situation where the person's complying with the relationship out of fear for their job, fear for their promotions, whatever it might be, and that we just are not able to decipher if consent is real in that situation.
What's the concern about situations where there is possibly an abuse of power, sexual misconduct in the workplace? What if it's not investigated? Or what if people aren't held to account? What's the concern there in terms of workplace culture?
Oh, well, that's exactly it. The culture has to start from the top. That's why the investigations are mandatory in the law. If it's not investigated, if it's just left, it creates an environment where people don't feel safe at work, often especially women.
What about feeling safe to report? If you're somebody on staff, I mean, we don't work in businesses of two, so there are people that are around. What's the duty there? Employers
have to have a policy that sets out who you report to if you want to report about harassment, and who you can report to if that person themselves is the harasser.
Fascinating conversation, lots of information to delve into, lots of things to put into context.
Yeah.
Nicole, great to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.